Hey, good afternoon. We are so sorry for this slight delay. As you know, sometimes with going live and with clients, these things can happen. Our model was just a little bit late, which is okay, and then getting some things situated for today. So sorry about that. Apologize if you've been waiting, and we thank you if you have been. And we're ready to get started with our 90-day hyperpigmentation program here. Treatment number 4. So your last treatment was a mid-depth peel, pretty much. We took our Brighten Up peel and kind of did some TCA in there and really made that more of a mid-depth for you. And how did the process go for your skin?
It's peeled a lot on the second day already.
Yeah.
Like starts peeling here
Yeah.
on the second day, and then that night it's all go up, and then on the morning of the third day it's like peel from here down.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this
Through
part.
there, yeah.
And then I noticed that my eyes is peeling too, which is we didn't have it the first time we peeled, but this time it's peel on my eye too.
A little bit on your lid. Mm-hmm.
So right here
Hmm.
and right here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we did try to get her eye area pretty well here. Acids do travel, and so sometimes you'll see that, and your eye area there, but it's interesting that it kind of went all on your lid. But that can happen, soften up our lids, right? Gives a little bit of rejuvenation there, but not usually.
The eye cover, and then that's why it's getting messy.
Yeah, and especially because we went so close
Yes.
here and there, we were trying to get really close. So that's probably why that. How did it feel going through it? Did you have any difficult days? Was your skin sensitive?
Yes, especially this part and
The eye area.
Because I think the skin is a lot softer there, so it's more sensitive there. But this part and this one, sometimes it's irritating me, so I have to use like
The products, like the cucumber spritz. Uh-huh.
the spit, and then there's this the product that Michelle gives it to me last time, which is that on the label. So,
Calming skin gel for itching, yeah. So that's good. And how do you feel now? Do you feel sensitive now? Does it feel like it's pretty much healed for you? How do you feel?
pretty much healed, still a little itching, and now the edge.
I see a little bit of peeling still, just slightly right here at the hairline. And that's usually where you'll see a little bit here on the forehead. So yeah, just a little bit of peeling, but overall it looks really good.
This part peeled twice.
Your chin peeled twice.
And then it stopped after it's done once, and then the next day then it stopped peeling again.
Yeah, cool. That's good. Now, are you seeing a difference in your skin yourself?
It look finer, I think, and then it's look brighter. Even my daughter can see it. Mom, your skin look brighter.
Yeah, that's good. I see a lot of clarity too. I definitely see some softness through here for sure, and so that's good. Well, great. Well, that looks good. Any other questions anybody else has for her that you want to kind of see?
Specifically here on the right side, did you feel like that peeled more because we really went deep in that one spot?
This one? Yes, it's pure. It's pure. I think it's pure.
It kind of, did it turn even dark brown, like get a little bit darker?
It's. I don't think it's get darker.
No.
But when it peel out, you can see the difference between the
Like it
color
just
and
kinda-
before
yeah.
and after the peel.
Yeah, that is good.
Right now you don't see the difference, but when it's peeling, you see it.
Yeah.
And you can certainly see the difference. I mean, the refinement in her texture and her
Yeah.
skin and in the pore size. And then even in this area too, like I wasn't here last week, but I can still notice a difference in the lightening, in those darker areas given, a couple weeks back. So
Do you feel like you're seeing a difference in the pigmentation, anybody yet?
the area where I think that where I noticed a little bit of lightening is right in here. That for sure.
This doesn't seem like it moved to me, but I'm not sure if it was darker last time or not. We'd have to look at before and afters.
What do you think?
Well, what I noticed yesterday when I saw her just in normal light and she was sitting up, is I was noticing this line up here because her hair was pulled back really tight, that I wasn't noticing so much when we first started, that this looked less, I just didn't notice this difference with this piece right here from before. But yeah, that, and then I felt like this I could see more that was going out, and then of course this needs more, but I felt like this looked so much different and so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the pore size on her nose, I thought looked
Yeah, I think there's a significant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, still a lot of work from the pigmentation. And that's, you know, the challenge. We're going to see what we get. I know overall she's going to be thrilled with her skin. We're all going to look at her and go, wow, the before and after. But how much are we really going to get movement in some of these pigmented areas? We're going to really have to, you know, see. Going into our home care after this, really using that natural mega brightening serum more often before your next treatment, see if we can get more movement there. But yeah, so we'll watch this along the way. I think we're at number 4, so we've been about 5 weeks-ish or so into this program, so not quite halfway through. And so today what we want to do is something that's going to further along kind of address brightening in the skin and help still with the healing process. She still does have some peeling going on. We don't want to do anything that's too aggressive at that point and create over-exfoliate or inflammation in her skin. So we're just going to give you a really nice brightening type post-peel facial, really infusing a lot of good things into the skin. You'll love this. You get to relax, right, for this. No peel here. And so we'll do that on you. So we'll get started with what we were going to do, and I think it's perfectly fine what we all discussed before even seeing her, as in the post-care scenario 1. She is pretty much peeled and healed, a little bit along the hairline. And then with that, because it's a brightening client, and because we're trying to add that element, we're going to add in the skin brightening enzyme in with the papaya tangerine. And so we'll do that at that step, and then a few other slight changes as we go. But you could follow that protocol if you'd like to, and we'll see how her skin does. We may even want to, Michelle or Aubrey or whoever's getting it, is do some melanin suppressant at the end, particularly on her pigmentation. So we'd want to finish up and leave that on as her corrective in this case, and that would be good to do on all her pigmented areas. And so we'll see how her skin does all the way around, but I think we can add that in and leave that on. So yeah, so you get to relax right now. Right. I don't know if you guys notice our new -10 t-shirts, and I know a lot of you are not watching this live, and then many of you watch it months later, because I understand your time. It's hours and hours of education, which we're loving to bring to you, but it's a lot to get through. And I completely understand that. We'll be in Vegas this week at the show, and would love for you to come by the booth, and we'll be having our -10 t-shirts there, along with many other new things, and the whole Rhonda, Allison educational team will be there too, so we're excited to see you there. But these t-shirts turned out really cute. Looking good. All right. So skin brightening cleanser, sorry.
Yep, so we're going to start off with that skin brightening cleanser. Work that in.
I'm going to have to sit.
How does her skin feel, Michelle, with each treatment that she's gotten? I know that she had started off with some more congestion in her skin. Are you feeling more of a reduction in that?
I'm feeling it along like right here, like closer to the surface again, like we were talking about last time. And she said that right here, she actually had like a little blackhead come up, and so she extracted that.
So you're feeling more things still kind of purging?
I feel more right here.
Yeah.
Because before I felt a lot through here, and I'm not feeling as much through here.
And you know, I mean, the thing is that a peel is going to help to purge the skin. A peel is also going to help with rejuvenation, that refinement that we're seeing in her pores. And then, of course, I mean, our main focus in this particular series is pigmentation. But, you know, pigmentation it takes some time. And it's something that when you're talking to your clients, you want to make sure that you're not giving them some sense of false guarantee, you know, like, oh no, by the time that 90 days is over, you won't have any pigmentation left, because, you know, that's not exactly always true. Pigmentation takes some time, and
That's why I think the education on pigmentation is so important for you to do, is to really let them understand what's going on with the skin, how that pigmentation came about, and the idea and what's happening. And then you can talk to them about healthy skincare. And healthy skincare will just begin to give more confidence in general, will begin to diminish certainly the either intensity, if you will, of that pigmented area. But won't always, get rid of it completely. Sometimes we can with certain pigmentation, and then sometimes it's much more of a challenge. So if your goal is healthy skin, rejuvenation, and you're educating your client, I think you and them will be really happy. And so I do think that's a good point, is that just that expectation makes such a difference,
And also just the other results that she's seeing with having more of a refined look to the skin, more even texture, that makes the inconsistencies in pigmentation less noticeable too, when you can really help smooth the skin out. So the overall look of her skin is getting so much better, even if the lightening process is just taking a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree.
And for your younger clients, that's why this is such an important thing, that, to teach teenagers that are coming to you, especially if they're coming to you for acne, to really teach them the importance of sunscreen and, proper sun care and so forth, because, there's so much of a risk, and to have to go back and then target the pigmentation after, maybe a battle of acne or something like that when they're younger, it's a lot. Sometimes we can't help it. Post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation comes from, different things that we, have our bodies going through and subject ourselves to and so forth. But still, teaching them about the importance of sun exposure and using sunscreen and reapplying it and taking care of their skin actually from a younger age, I think is an important thing to stress.
Especially considering one bad burn when you're even 4 or 5 can show up later on the skin as really damaged DNA with pigmentation as the result, or it can also leave you exposed to
Yeah.
And that brings up a really good point with the, so much of the damage that we do when we're younger. We do when we're teenagers in particular. That complex of, the sun's not going to bother me. I know I'm guilty of it. So we're doing a combination of the skin brightening enzyme with the papaya tangerine, and we did a 50-50 split here on her. And again, at this point, at this particular stage in her skin's healing process, as Shannon had mentioned, she's healed really nicely. Just a very little bit of flaking, and so that's why we're going with this approach. And then mixing in that skin brightening enzyme, of course, we're trying to target pigmentation here. The skin brightening also has that salicylic base in it, as well as the other natural lightners and brighteners. So she may feel a little bit of tingling sensation when working with this blend, but that's why we did mix it with the papaya tangerine, is to kind of cut down on a little bit of that activity that she may feel from the salicylic.
And this combination too could be really good to perhaps retail to your customer to use at home. The lightening ingredients that Aubrey was talking about can also be very preventative at the same time. So if you are working outside during the summer, or if you're just outside more frequently, you can use the skin brightening enzyme to reduce the possibility of irregular pigmentation, and also mixing it in with something like the papaya tangerine, which is nice and gentle, or even the grapeseed hydrating or grapeseed mask would be a nice one as well.
I was going to say, that's a great segue into
the grapeseed
hydrating
trio. Well, that's true too. But I didn't very often not use the skin brightening enzyme during the summer, even on my own skin, for the longest time, especially when I was younger. I don't get out into the sun as often. I'm not really doing that to that degree, and when I do, there's a lot more precautions used. But, when I was younger, I would use that skin brightening enzyme really almost weekly. And we had clients on that where it was just it became a part of their summer regimen that I want you to start using that weekly, but it was for what you were saying, Caitlin. It was to help with the preventative side and to be something that can give them that lightness and brightness, really be still using that enzymatic property of digesting that outer layer of dead skin cells, but really helping to kind of prevent pigmentation and giving the skin a brighter look and all of that. So it's a great one, and you could mix it, you know, with that papaya tangerine, or they could use it on their own, or mix it with the mask. I love mixing it with the milk mask too. And bringing the papaya tangerine into this, obviously it is more of a post-care enzyme, but it, you know, we could maybe just do the skin brightening enzyme on its own. It just depends on where her skin was at. The papaya tangerine adds a lot of healing because of the goat's milk in there. So it really adds a nice healing effect to the skin, kind of more nutrients, feeding it a little bit more than if we were to just use the skin brightening enzyme on its own. And we have to watch, even through this 90-day program, that we're not creating over inflammation and a skin that can then become more sensitive or more susceptible. So during the process, the way that we're going to see a really healthy outcome at the end is doing some of these kind of healing touches and really kind of spreading her treatments out accordingly. So that's a really great mixture, and most likely she won't feel it, but I think it's almost on enough to where we could kind of ask her how she's feeling. Do you feel any activity, Lily?
It's tingly.
On a scale of 1 to 10, being 10
We
the
forget about
highest,
Lily.
1 being the
She
least
feels
amount.
everything.
About 5.
Oh, okay, about a 5.
Well, there goes my theory, right? Now, Lily feels everything, we've determined, which is great. But her skin it still could be sensitive. I did see a little bit of pinkness through her nose area. And, you know, she was still peeling along the hairline. Let's take a look. And do you see any more erythema coming up or anything else on her skin?
You know, her skin always reacts really well to everything we've been putting on it, so it seems to be doing
normal,
really
huh?
nice. But I'm sure she has hypersensitivity right now, just
Yeah.
from everything. And we did the 3 layers of sake plus
Oh,
spot
yeah.
treating before too. So I mean, it was pretty.
Yeah, and tops her off with vitamin A, so she certainly
Yeah.
had a good peel. But, you know, at the same time, though, too, a lot of people tell us that they feel a lot of activity from the skin brightening.
Oh, yeah,
And then
we
other
do
people
hear it.
be like, oh, I don't feel anything at all. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things where, you know, even
I do feel
you do feel.
What does it feel like? Does it feel tingly?
kind of tingly and
Itchy?
but more than ticklish. Yeah.
Is it uncomfortable like how uncomfortable is it?
It's not like when you put on the peel, it's that hot.
That hot, right.
It's about half of that sensitive.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so, yeah, I know, Aubrey, just like you were saying, I mean, sometimes we can say, well, this enzyme's gentle, but with this, and even the Cherry Jubilee, I mean, people feel it, and some people feel it more than others, you know, going on there. So, yeah, but that's good. I mean, as far as looking at her skin, like you said, Caitlin, we look at it, and what do we see? Completely normal skin. I don't even see any pinkness coming up through the enzyme, which this will create in many skins. You'll see, you know, kind of that pinkness, a little more redness to the skin, things like that. And she looks totally normal. And those are what you look for. So you don't go by your client and how they feel, right? You go by what you're seeing. You got to be able to read the skin, and you got to feel confident with what you're putting on the skin. So when you know that every now and then we've got someone that says this is an 8 or a 9. Your average is probably going to be a 2 or 3. I feel it, but not much is happening really. Okay, I feel something going on. I'm totally fine. And then sometimes you'll get, you know, where Lily is, maybe a 5 or so. So knowing that range and understanding to really look for the skin, look for blotchiness, look for, you know, if it was like tomato red, we might go, this is not acting right. A little bit of erythema, a little bit of pinkness is totally fine, and that's pretty much what we would normally see in normal. So that's what you want to do, is you want to be watching the skin, reading the skin, and making your assessments there. Because I've seen estheticians a lot put something on someone, the client says, oh my gosh, that is so hot, and they immediately remove it. And they're missing kind of the point of what we're trying to do. That comes from a couple things. One, it could be communication too. Because when you communicate to her that she's going to feel it, she knows something's going to happen. So she's not as panicked as, you're applying this I'm feeling, and something doesn't seem right. So then they get themselves with anxiety. So the more you communicate there is really important, and then just looking and reading the skin would be real important here. So everything's good. Is it subsiding at all, or still feel about the same? Subsiding a little bit? Yeah. And this is an enzyme that you can work in. at this stage with the goat's milk peeling, or the goat's milk peeling cream, going back to an old name, sorry. I know sometimes it's confusing for you too. But the papaya tangerine and the skin brightening enzyme, we can actually work this in if we wanted to. It would really depend on what you're trying to do. In the sense of after a peel, it's really best to just kind of leave it alone and let it do its thing. It'll be more aggressive when you work it in and kind of massage it into those areas, even though in some ways it'll feel better for you because it's kind of taken that away. But it's better for you just to have it lay there, sit on your skin for another few minutes. So probably maybe 5 minutes at most, I think, left, right? Has it been on about 5, you think? No? How long do you think it's been on?
It's about 3 or 4 minutes.
3 or 4? You crack me up. She's a funny model. We like Lily. So she knows it's been on 3 or 4 minutes, so we have a good 5 left. So we'll leave that on about a full 10, and then we'll go to the next step. Any questions live that we have? Anybody out there? And please ask questions, guys, those of you watching.
I was still like, in all with like, how is your model?
How what?
How whiny is your model?
How whiny.
Oh, whining. I thought you said whitening. I was like, I don't know.
That's what we're here for.
You can whine. It's okay. Okay. Yeah, so no question. So what do you think? What else to kind of talk about maybe at this step, or what's going through, you know, the skin right now after this peel, maybe?
I mean, you know, and we've talked about this before. So, you know, it's been 1 week since she had the peel.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's still going through that wound healing phase.
Yeah.
You know, she's going through that phase that actually, I mean, anytime that we do a peel, she's going to continue to experience for the next several weeks, possibly even months, depending on the depth of the peel. The other thing that, you know, we like to point out is that, you know, it is pigmentation that we're focusing on here. So, you know, we have noticed some areas that seem a little bit brighter. Given the fact that I think that her skin has been responding really well to the treatments that she's received, I mean, it would be nice to, you know, to also think about maybe, you know, giving her the okay to get her back on regular home care, try to really brighten up that, some of those areas that we're seeing the darker pigments.
Which the thing about that is, if you've been following along with all the 90 days, she's really going to be the first one that we've been able to put back on correctives.
Yeah.
And her skin's ready for it. We're going to be able to go right into that regimen, because sometimes, like when you do a peel, obviously you pull them off of those kind of home care, you do their post care, and then when they come back, you really have to assess where the skin is and what they're doing, and your next treatment too. So all that comes into play on what they can do next. And in this situation, I really think she's going to do great going right into a corrective home care regimen for pigmentation, and then waiting until you know, her next treatment, which will be about 3 weeks or so, giving her skin plenty of time to still do its remodeling thing, not creating more inflammation, allowing now the home care to work with her skin, and then bringing her back in for either a very progressive plus peel or a mid-depth peel. We'll see where her skin's at and what she could take. Hopefully, probably the ideal would be another mid-depth. That's what we'd want to do there. And so, yeah.
With pigmentation too, it is really crucial for them to be on the active home care in between, because with this condition, it's only going to enhance the peels that we do. You know, there's so many different things or different pathways that we had discussed in the very beginning on pigmentation, but if we can be constantly suppressing the melanocyte activity and then accelerating the cell turnover with the peels, that's the best combination of things to really get significant lightening.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
Yeah,
think we
that's
have a
great.
question.
Yeah.
Can a post-peel facial be performed while the client is still peeling?
Yes, but it may be a different one. If they're still peeling, there's 3 scenarios in the book, and you would go probably to that third scenario, maybe the second, but the second or the third are you're seeing some peeling, maybe you're seeing some inflammation, some redness. Maybe they're telling you, yeah, when I cleanse my skin, I'm still sensitive. You know, I'm about a day 7, I'm done peeling, but my skin still feels sensitive for a couple more days on me. So it varies from one skin to the next, and that's why we asked her in the beginning, are you still feeling sensitive at all? Does it feel sensitive when you touch your skin? And for the most part, no, you know, a little bit along here or there, you know, so she's really through that stage of that part of the healing of the skin. So in that, if they come back and they're at that place, then you'd have to adjust what you do. The derma peel sometimes is good. very little serums, anything active. You would do more of your post-care products and just really working those into the skin. And nutrient mask like the milk mask, wouldn't mix anything else too active, and you would follow that. But you've got the scenario in there. And that's where sometimes when you're used to someone and can see how they peel, sometimes you might schedule the post-peel follow-up at 10 days or 12 so that you can do something a little bit more aggressive on their skin. However, when they do come in and they still have like a bit of leftover skin and they're still peeling and it's like, oh, that needs to fall off, doing the DermaPeel enzyme and having that professional treatment, their skin looks amazing afterwards, and a lot of that dead skin cells is kind of peeling is sort of dissipated and gone. So.
And you know, bringing up the fact about the post-peel follow-up visit, you know, it is so crucial, especially when you're doing mid-depth or deep peels.
Yeah.
But I mean, really with any peel, you want to be able to get an idea of what's going on with your client's skin. I had somebody that had contacted us, one of our clients, and she had done a peel on a client, and then, you know, there was the communication just wasn't there, and the client didn't come back for several weeks later. Well, by the time the client came back, the pigmentation was pretty bad. And so the esthetician was very nervous about what had happened. And she goes, I don't understand. You know, I've done this protocol before, blah, blah, blah. And as it turned out, you know, it was because probably they went for 4 or 5 weeks between seeing them. And the client went out on a cruise and she did this. And, you know, she spent a lot of time out in the sun on skin that had just received a very mid-depth, almost deep peel.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's important to get that client back in there within 7 days, 12 days. I mean, even at the most 14 days after, so you can see what's going on. You can see if there's any issues that or complications that are coming up in the skin. You know, some people may experience a lot of breakouts or maybe an occasional breakout. Maybe they did get a flare-up of pigmentation. You know, and it's important for the esthetician to be able to identify those and then be able to get a good regimen going.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just a part of the healing. It's just a part of the process, really. And I think it does. I mean, it's critical, you know, in the success of their skin, understanding what to do next, more communication to say, what are you going to go? You're going on a cruise? Oh, well, here's what we need to do for that, you know, even more so. But, and then certainly with post-inflammatory pigmentation, if that comes up, that is so critical to catch that sooner than later. So that's one of the things there that really makes a difference. And acne, purging. You know, when you have someone, we could do extractions on her today in certain areas if we needed to. And doing that is really great, especially a week later, because a lot of times with your acne, they'll get that additional breakout or they've still got a lot of things going on. So when you can go in there and further extract very professionally without creating any damage, any scarring, anything like that, you're going to see that skin clear up with that bacteria quicker, and those lesions go away too. And that's another reason why it's important. So yeah, it makes such a difference.
And then, as we've seen with the different 90 days as well, we've seen how the skin, different clients or models of ours have healed in different ways. Some of them actually started to heal faster as the treatments went on. You know, so it's important to just get that true idea of what's happening with the skin and how well they're healing.
And also to relook them. I mean, when you get them to come in and you want them to do a series, you do one peel, mid-depth or deep, and then having them come back in, that's a perfect opportunity to relook them for their next peel. So it constantly gets them coming through your door every month or so, and then they get on a routine of then buying their home care as well. So you want as many opportunities to have a touch with your patient or your client as possible, and those extra treatments, one, they feel like it's great, like she loved it, it's more of a facial, and then you have them coming in your door more often.
Yeah, I agree too. And once they get comfortable coming in a place, they seem to want to come more too. So, you know, doing that one peel and that's going to, you know, be all their answers, as you all know too, that's not the case and that's not the answer. We don't want to approach things like that. But a lot of clients don't know that sometimes. They'll want, oh, okay, I want that peel, and then I won't have to go back for, you know, whatever. So when you do bring them in for that and really stress, you know, I would suggest really putting it in the cost and price, and then you don't have to worry about it. They're coming in because they get this. But you know, that will definitely make a difference, and then have them coming in and feeling that, and then being able to explain to them what you can do with your corrective facials, as well as the peels, you know, is just another great thing to keep them coming.
So we are
So what are we
applying
applying?
the purifying lotion.
Okay.
We're going to lay that into her skin. And this is really important at this part of her healing process as well, providing a lot of antioxidants and nutrients into the skin. Purifying lotion is wonderful. It contains that L-glutathione and that superoxide dismutase.
It's nice at this stage too, because it's not drying on the skin, and a lot of times when people go through peels, their skin is dry for a period of time, and it's you know, it doesn't have anything too active, so you know, when you're dealing with this post-care, it's not going to create anything that will cause inflammation or anything like that, and just really give her skin cells those antioxidants provided to the skin. And what do we do next here? Purifying lotion?
Yeah, so we did the purifying lotion. So we're going to do a cocktail serum of sea gems, growth factor, and drop of essence.
Perfect. And so you could see, do you feel like the drop of essence is something she needs, Michelle?
A little.
Okay. Yeah, I think the drop of essence in general is probably not the best one for her skin. We kind of did some other post-care. So sea gems with growth factor serum, maybe a little extra growth factor serum, Aubrey, and less of the drop of essence, or just like Michelle said, maybe put on the other two and then add drop of essence if you need. So you can make that adjustment depending on their level of hydration, their skin type, all of that here. But you want to use something that is considered post-care. As you notice in our nourishing section, we have only post-care products. There can be some slight adjustments there, like with her skin. Could we do a little natural mega brightening serum under this? Especially in some areas we could go a little bit further, but we had talked about earlier deciding to put the melanin suppressant in at the end. But you could do that. You could do a little mandelic arginine here all over, which would be a nice corrective that's gentle, not going to cause any inflammation or anything in her skin. That's about it. You want to stay really mild, and you want to think post-care. And so now what we're doing is just being able to really work that in, do a nice relaxing facial massage after their crazy peel of, you know, heat and peeling for a week and all of these things, you know, work that in. And then you can kind of go on to the next step. So that's how you can sort of make adjustments as you go.
It smells really nice.
Does it smell nice?
Oh my heavens.
How does it feel, Lily?
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels good.
She likes this part.
Yeah.
During some of the post-care follow-ups, can you incorporate microderm or other modalities as well during these facials, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, so no on microdermabrasion. We usually don't recommend that. If you were going to do microdermabrasion, it would at least need to be 2 to 3 weeks out after a mid-depth peel. And then it would depend on what you're doing, and every machine's different, and also every technician's different. You guys know that one of the reasons we named the peel book, The Art of Peels, The Art of Skin Peels, is because it is an art. It's like with anything else. It's a recipe that's followed, but to get the right outcome, you really need to be astute with what you're doing, understand, and some estheticians can be heavy-handed, particularly with microdermabrasion, so that impacts what you're going to do. So at least 2 to 3 weeks out on that. You can certainly use a modality like LED right here. That would be very healing and really good to add at this process. You could use an oxygen, you know, feeding the skin with nutrients and oxygen here. You know, obviously no microneedling. What else is out there that might be a modality? I think those are microcurrent.
Probably stay away from that.
Yeah, probably that. Ultrasound, we had a question on that today. I mean, you could use that to penetrate some of the nutrients if you needed to, but maybe not, but probably that. That's not going to hurt anything. Anything else maybe to add on that?
Well,
for
I mean,
modalities?
you have to look at the reason why you're trying to use each individual modality. I
Yeah.
mean, with microderm, it's to create more exfoliation. An enzyme is going to be much more effective and also more gentle. But doing something like an LED would be great to enhance what you already did with the results of the peel. So you have to look at the modality not just as, you know, universally, let's use a modality, but what is the outcome of each machine, and then you can incorporate it. Oxygen would be great. The skin's already been exfoliated, so the oxygen can penetrate a little bit deeper. So that would be something that would be good to add in, as well as the LED.
Yeah, that's a great point. I would say look at things that bring more healing,
Right.
in a sense. You know, that would give you a indication of whether it would be good at this stage, and really looking at their skin.
It's penetrated really nicely. I mean, it still looks a little bit, like you can tell I applied it, but it went in. It's not just sitting
It
on
looks
top
so
of her
good,
skin.
doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. How's that feel, Lily?
It's good.
She's like, I'm
That's
very
good.
relaxed. Decisions.
What do y'all think?
I say 12 flower, but I know you like wasabi though.
Yeah, maybe what? We're talking about the mask here,
well,
sorry.
I'm thinking-
As you see, we kind of had some ideas, but tell me what you're thinking. Let's talk it through.
So 12 flower, this is a fabulous anti-aging mask, but it's really great though at helping to brighten up the tissue in the skin. And so since she is on a pigmentation program, you know, brightening up that pigmentation is very beneficial. However, on the flip side of that, the wasabi mask, it's really good at helping to increase some circulation in the skin, but then it's got that green tea, which is very anti-inflammatory, which is also really beneficial when you're talking about pigmentation. Yeah,
because the 12 flower could increase inflammation. So to some level, it's good, and it can also stimulate. But it brightens probably more. Well, more than the wasabi, obviously. We're going to add in the milk to either one, so that brings some nutrients in.
And the melanin suppressant could also help. What if we did just a thin layer of the natural mega brightening and then the wasabi on top of that?
To get the benefits of the wasabi. Or what if we just put the natural in spots?
Oh,
I like that idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea. So then you're getting some of what the 12 flower might offer, but we're getting more anti-inflammatory. And the other reason I was drawn to wasabi for me was because, like you keep talking about some congestion, some things coming up, some impurities here and there. And I feel like even when we looked at her skin in the magnification, that we could see some things underlying that weren't so much pigmentation, just some almost like purging needed to happen to her skin. So the more that we can do, that kind of addresses that too. So I kept being drawn to wasabi too, you know, for different reasons. But that is a great solution. Just doing a little bit of that natural. So what we're doing now is adding a lightening component underneath the mask, but we're just going to spot treat with it instead of all over. And so our natural mega brightening serum, which we do have her on for home care too. And then we'll do a mixture of wasabi mask with the milk mask. So adding a lot of nutrients to the skin with that milk mask, adding a lot of anti-inflammatories with the wasabi, as well as ingredients that help with congestion and kind of circulation and just everything that we kind of need on her skin. So the combination of those will be really good, and we can do that, and then our ice globes, very relaxing for her and all of that. But hopefully that can help. Could you go wrong with the 12 flower? Her skin might have responded just fine with the 12 flower too. It's just, you know, that's what I like about having the variety. And then when you get together and we all start talking about, well, now what's the advantage of this over this in this situation, you really can start to really customize that perfect option for that client's skin. And then you can see how this is on her skin. Next time you might do the 12 flower, and if it was in a different scenario, but you have ways to change it up too. So yeah. So just applying this natural, which could be a little bit warm right now because your skin, yeah, she's like, I already feel it. Oh, I thought she did. She's like, yeah, I feel it.
Every time she had that,
Oh, you were wondering what it was? Q-tip application.
Or scared from last
every
time.
time she used the Q-tip, it's kind of.
Oh, last time we kind of dug it in there, didn't we? God, that has it going. That's right. Oh, she's remembering the last treatment. That Q-tip was not her friend. It frosted her right up.
Is that still feeling okay, Lily?
Yes, it's still.
Okay. Good. How's it so far? I mean, everything feeling good and.
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of nice to see her facial, isn't it?
I love facials.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
It's like a reward after the peel.
It is, that is a good way to look at it. Reward after appeal.
Yes, you could say that. All right.
Okay, this is gonna feel really good and smell really good too.
Maybe a little spicy.
Maybe a little.
There's some wasabi in there.
I'm a big fan of sushi.
Oh, you'll love the wasabi, huh?
Shannon, we actually
We
do
are
have a
too.
question.
Okay.
So I know we are spot treating with the natural Omega Brightening. Would you want to spot treat with the skin brightening gel that has a hydroquinone? Or is that not an option at this point?
Well, I would say that
It's a good question.
a one-time application of hydroquinone is not necessarily going to give you the result that you're probably looking for, and you always have to weigh your pros and cons when it comes with HQ. Yes, it does give great results, and they're fairly immediate as far as lightening the skin, but you also have that toxicity to the melanocyte. So for a one-time application, I don't necessarily think it's worth it, and you get more overall well-rounded benefits from something that's like the natural Mega Brightening rather than the hydroquinone serum. So I think that this is a better choice.
I think too, that's a great way to kind of look at it. And then you could also look at it like it is a lot stronger. So in this case, could that cause her some additional peeling in those areas that we might not want over this next 3 weeks? We're not going to be seeing her. You know, we want to make sure her skin's maintaining the way that we've seen it so far. So maybe that's another reason to say no. In general, with your question though, we don't use the skin brightening gel in the treatment room the same way that we use the natural Mega Brightening Serum. Even under, like after an enzyme, you have to be careful. And my reason is what you're saying, Caitlin, because of the toxicity side of hydroquinone and how that can affect the cells when they're very vulnerable after an enzyme, depending on what you use and ready to receive. I don't like to put that on there. I'd rather go with something that is more natural and the skin cells receive it better. So that's where we don't use that as often in this kind of a setting. Maybe a finisher, you know, sometimes to finish and go home if that's what you were going to suggest. Certainly sometimes to pre-treat and other things. But yeah, I mean, I think overall probably no. But I don't know if I'd say
And the other thing too is in the skin brightening gel, we also have some other active ingredients in there.
Yeah,
so
so
not
it's-
only is the HQ in there, which is also going to be a little bit more potent, if
Inactive,
you will.
yeah.
But yeah, then we've got other active ingredients in there as well. And like you said, I mean, we definitely don't want her to be getting a little flaky or irritated, because we would like to see her get back on her corrective regimen to help prep her for the next treatment that she's going to get in 3 weeks or so.
And we don't want to dry her out too much, you know,
Right.
too. And that can happen as well. And then that's not fun for them. But sometimes you'll have that. When you are going through a program, you need to tell people that too, is that your skin can feel more dry during this process, all of those things, and that's normal. But as much as we can, we want their experience to be good overall and their home care to be fairly enjoyable as much as you can during this process where you're more targeted. But that's another thing that could do, is give her a little bit more dryness too. So.
And her skin responded so well to the peel that, I mean, we have to remember too, this is a post-peel follow-up. So a lot of the times,
Yes.
these questions wouldn't even arise because they'd still be pink, they'd still be a little flaky, and you'd never consider putting,
Yes.
you know, calming skin gel on somebody
Even the
in that state.
natural probably
Right.
for most of them, right?
Yeah, so this is, I think, a fairly unique situation just because she healed so nicely and so quickly.
We love that. Her skin's just responding wonderful, huh?
Did you feel any activity at all from the mask when she started to apply it? Yeah.
A little bit.
And so now,
So then
one of our signatures in our mask protocols is doing the ice globe. So we have the two cold 4x4s that are really well wrung out, stretched across her skin, and now Michelle will use the ice globes to just really help bring a lot of soothing to the skin, great for inflammation in the skin as well. And it feels really good, as everybody's heard us say like a zillion times.
It does. If you haven't had it done, trust me, when you do, you're going to go, that's what that feels like? Yeah, it feels really good. And it's a simple tool because it's not expensive, and a lot of people don't think about it. But I've heard people over the years, and certainly when we had our places in Dallas, if we ever left out the ice globes, they were not happy with that. It was one step that they just really wanted and looked forward to. And I've heard that with different clients throughout time, the estheticians and things like that. But they say, you know, that the ice globes is amazing. And think of how easy that is to add to your treatment room, you know, some ice globes. But yeah, so it's good. Any other questions?
And I'd say too,
Anything else? Yeah.
the ice globes, it does feel really nice for the client, and it also has more of a clinical side to it as well. When you're doing things like the wasabi mask that is really meant for nice vasodilation, it can feel a little bit warm when you've got additional blood flow happening. So then going from that hot to cold therapy, it can really help to soothe the skin and also just make
Make the wasabi a little more tolerable.
Yes, exactly. But you still get the benefit of the vasodilation with the wasabi.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
How's that feel, Lily?
I was just
Real
like,
good.
I thought she drifted off.
Oh.
She's real nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
And you know, even though we're doing a post peel follow-up treatment, we're still going to incorporate that warm towel in here as well. There's something that always feels great when you get that warm towel after the cool ice globes, and that's also going to help though with the product penetration too that we have going on.
Yeah, and you can make it hotter or warmer, like you said, depending on your client and what you want to do. And it doesn't have to be on there long either. The feel of it is really nice, and so you can leave it on until it cools. Or if it's maybe a rosacea skin, or maybe someone that has some inflammation still in their skin and things like that, you may just do it just for the touch. Put it on, 30 seconds, take it off. So it depends on what you're going to do there, but we usually always after the ice globes will add that as another touch too, and that feels great. Right. Well, I hope you're enjoying this process. We'd love feedback from you on 90 Day. And how this is. We are trying to determine if we're going to continue this on and do other models in these same categories. Your feedback will help determine that, how you're enjoying that. I know that we've had hundreds sign up for 90 Day, and we just really love to hear from you and to know how you're enjoying the series. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that can be good, but also I know that sometimes we're trying to figure out what else to say here, you know, at certain steps when we're doing so many and you're seeing these facials over and over or peels. But in general, yeah, we just really, really love your feedback in ways that we can, you know, even improve on it too.
And I think we have a question. Oh, sorry for that dead air.
Oh, sorry about that. So as far as
We're all
technique
smiling
goes,
at this point.
When using the ice globes, is there a right or wrong way to actually utilize those?
Absolutely. You know, you want to make sure that your approach is very slow, not too slow though, but you want to have a nice fluid movement. And as we always like to say, you know, remember that the client can't see what you're doing. So it feels really awkward to the esthetician, especially as you're starting to get used to them. I know that for me, I'm like, whoa, wait a second, which way am I supposed to be? But, you know, it feels really nice to them. You certainly don't want to be going real fast over their face. And then we also recommend along the eye area, stick more along the brow bone as opposed to putting any pressure over the actual eyelids.
And I'd say being a little lighter handed than heavy handed. Mm-hmm. So, you know, letting the globes just sort of do their thing. That would be one thing. And then not stopping. Sometimes we'll stop. We do the pressure points from time to time, like, you know, at the temples. But that's about it because it is cold. And so sometimes you don't think about that, and it can really be too much for an area. So not stopping would be another thing that I would suggest. And then remembering that they can break. So always knowing that the ice globes can break. Most of the time, the little clinks that you'll hear, that is not going to break them, okay? It's going to have to be pretty powerful. But just keeping that in mind will allow you to, you know, help you to be a little more cautious on that. And then when you do put them back, make sure they don't roll off. They're somewhere safe, all of those things. But,
She
yeah.
said it feels good.
Yes, and it feels good. Verification.
really do stay cold for a very long time.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have, people say all the time, well, I don't have a refrigerator, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Just, even if you, on your way to work, get a cup of ice, if you're a single room esthetician, just put that in that bowl. They really do stay cold almost all day long for your clients, and just take them and sanitize them in between. Don't put them dirty back in the bowl, but they will stay cold for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely. They kind of have a cold nature, a little bit.
Yeah, her skin looks very nice.
Yeah, and I hope you guys are picking up on the camera everything that we see here throughout these 90 days. We're going to put together, you know, kind of befores and afters with every program, and kind of have a collage there. But just in general, we are really hoping the video's picking up everything that we see, because you can just see such a difference with her skin in just 4 treatments.
Mm-hmm.
This is treatment 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow.
Yeah, that modified Brighten Up really did the trick for her.
That was a good one.
That was really good. Yeah, this was a really good post-care facial. We were able to, because she healed so nicely from the peel, we were able to really bring in a little bit more correctiveness than you know, your standard post-care follow-up. And so I think that's
Adding
really
that
gonna
skin
help.
brightening enzyme, and then adding the Naturel, and then we'll finish with the melanin suppressant. Do y'all think we should use the melanin suppressant all over, or just in her pigmented areas?
I think all over.
Y'all think all over? I see that the team wants to go for stuff constantly. Let's go for the gusto.
You've got the aggressive group here. We're like, yeah, all over. We want to see that change.
Oh, gosh.
It looks fantastic.
And back in this area too, she had a little bit of peeling that she was still going through, and a lot of it has rolled off really nicely.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
good.
it's not even pink.
Yeah, it was ready.
Yeah, just helping the process along just a little
The
bit.
only part that pink when appears this area,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And that's, you know, they were obviously a little bit more aggressive in those areas, wanting to create some frosting. So that's why, you know, those would be a little bit more sensitive. And then certainly anytime, you know, around the nasal labial folds, that can definitely be an area where some sensitivities can arise. You know, sometimes acids do tend to travel into those areas a little bit more, and so.
Yeah, I
can
mean,
be a little
TCA is one that does travel, and some of your AHAs too.
And
Salicylic doesn't travel quite as much.
Would you say too, maybe because her pore size is so large that acid just goes down into those larger pores, maybe?
Yeah, I just don't know if that's the answer around her eyes or what. We're thinking maybe why she was a little more red. I'm not sure around her eye area why her lid peeled, other than
Yeah.
just thinking we did go pretty close, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we were like real close,
Yeah.
like to right there.
And with an Asian eye also, especially with a monolid, there is a more significant crease that can travel like right in this pathway here. So it looks like you're farther away, but there's like one direct pathway to get into the eye, which is a lot more distinct than with more of like a original Asian eye.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And the lid is different too, right here. You know, that's why I thought, well, I could see her peeling there a little bit more if it kind of ran down. But yeah, I mean, I think it's normal stuff. As long as, which we were telling her, even when you do eye peels, and we did use the Saki, which is a little more milder, but you can definitely get inflammation. You can get swelling, and you certainly can get peeling a little bit closer into the lid. It sounds like she got it everywhere on her eye, but her eyes look great right now. You know, no sign of anything.
Well, you're just taking care of any fine lines that you may be getting in the future. Preventative.
Yeah. So laying in the melanin suppressant here. That'll be kind of like our corrective that you can use in the treatment room. They can't use at home. If they were to use that at home all the time, it would end up creating some exfoliation and also too much inflammation. It's too aggressive in this formula to use that often. Sometimes we've had people use it, you know, for a few days in a row for some situations, and then especially with melasma, we've done that, and so they'll use it a few days in a row and then pull off of it and use it again. And that's just like a customized situation. In general, you know, it is best really left as a home care, a back bar, but then finishing it this way gives you a little more use out of it to go a little bit further, give her something more aggressive than the natural Mega Brightening Serum, and we can finish her and leave that on.
And you know, she may, given the fact again that this is a post-care treatment, she may be feeling a little bit of sensation from this, possibly. You feeling a little tingle?
Yeah. Would another option for this part of the facial be the brightening pigment lotion? Because we do recommend that sometimes for a summer corrective, even though it's considered more of our lotions and toners, but so full of nice lightening and brightening properties that it could also be used.
Yeah, that could be an option.
Corrective.
Yeah, and that would be a good one. And the Natural Mega Brightening Serum would be fine too. And so this is just kind of going a little bit more. And she's warm, so we might want to do. Do you need a fan for a second?
Yeah, for a second, please.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay. It's probably. It should be warm right now. I didn't see. Did y'all see if it brought up any pinkness or anything again? I don't
She had
think so.
gotten just a little bit right in there when she first applied it, but again, that can sometimes be from the pressure.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, I think it looks really good.
It looks good. A little bit sensitive through here, you can tell.
And that was the area that she said that she has some sensitivities.
Yeah.
So.
Right here and here.
Don't touch your face.
Yeah, don't touch it, but your chin looks a little pink through there.
Yes.
So yeah, and it could be too much. See, guys, maybe just spot treating. Could be better. Run it, but it'll be fine, you know. And we'll adjust our home care for a day or two, but it'll be fine. But yeah, everything looks really good, and it just brought up a little more pinkness and all that. But
And yeah, I thought I had my reward.
it's doing good. It looks good. Oh my goodness, your skin looks really good right now. Are you okay? Done with that? All right. So then we're gonna just finish her with
some
what's our
Therapy
options
E,
here?
some C-gems.
Any growth factor?
Yes.
Of course.
And you were using the serum at home, the growth factor serum.
Yes.
Did you feel any warmth with
Love
that when you were initially putting it on?
Not anymore.
At first, maybe a little. Yeah, that's normal.
The first few days.
And you know, that Therapy E in there is going to be very healing
Yeah.
on her skin, a lot of antioxidant support as well. But
Yeah.
it has a real good healing component. And you know, the nice thing that I like to point out with our Therapy E is the texture of it. A lot of people don't, they hear the E in there and they get scared. And they think, oh, no, it's going to be real heavy and oily. But it isn't. It's a wonderful, very lightweight healing product. Excellent for, anyone who's even got oilier skin, acne-prone skin, or in this case, we're doing it for post-care to provide some additional healing support. But
Yeah.
wonderful at healing the skin.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she's been using C-Gems.
Yeah.
So that's always a great product, too. We have her starting off with home care regimen, different regular home care regimen, and then the first couple of days with a peel
Yeah.
as well.
And then, what did we do for her first sunscreen? Did we do the daytime?
Yes.
And how's that been doing? Good. Very good.
I just put it on every day.
Yeah, that's really good. So we'll finish her up with sunscreen, and then we'll get back to me together. So we're going to just take a brief pause for you so that we can have her change and then get it set back up to talk about her home care for the next few weeks and her next appointment. So we'll do that and then come back together.
It does smell very nice, doesn't it?
I love that sheer tint.
Yeah, it's so nice.
And our sheer tint is a great product for helping to reduce any erythema, red undertones, yellow undertones in the skin. I find that our new RA color binds really well with it as well. Love it.
I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And the sheer tint is so nice because it does blend with so many different skin tones. Like you're saying, the red undertones are yellow. It really helps to matte everything out nicely.
You know,
We need RA Luma color.
We do. Gotta tell them the marketing department.
Get it going.
Great.
That looks good. If she sits up, are you able to see her? Or? Yes? We can, okay. So let's have you sit up and just look there at the camera and everybody can kind of take a look at her. Looking really good. Oh my goodness. You're a model, Lily. You're a model. You could be in pictures.
It does though. It looks
Oh my
very
gosh, your
nice.
skin looks great. It looks very hydrated and healthy, showing up good on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can see such a difference with your pore size. Looks beautiful. Yeah. How exciting. Well, good. All right. Well, so you go ahead and get changed and then come back. We'll meet you right here. Okay. Sorry about that quick break there. We had to kind of move our tables around, get our model to change, and then she's coming back in. I don't know if you noticed the little background change here, but we had to ship some things off to a couple shows that we're doing. So we've made some slight adjustments here for this 90-day and to make it work. So thank you for waiting. And what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about her home care and what we want to put her on. So prior to her peels, so this is her first one, correct? To where we put her on Skin Brightening Cleanser, the Brightening Pigment Lotion. We had her using the scrub a few days a week, maybe 3 or so it looks like. C-Gems, and then Daytime Defense. Did we not do blush wine? Because that was across that. I'm not sure which one that is.
Adding blushed wine in there, then the second treatment.
Oh, okay. Or maybe at night? Maybe we added the C-Gems in.
Blushed wine. Because blush wine is her moisturizer.
I see.
And then we had her also incorporated at nighttime as her moisturizer too because of the
Yeah.
niacinamide.
So then we would just need to add blush wine here. Oh, I know. It looks so good. Does it feel good?
Too.
Yeah, it looks great. And then same cleanser, natural mega brightening serum and chronopeptide, and we were having her use those nightly before the peel, and then the blush wine gel. So let's talk about this a few things. When you were first using your home care with, do you remember the blush wine gel?
Yes.
And how did you like using that product? Did that feel like it moisturized your skin enough?
Yes.
Yeah. And anything with the scrub? Was everything good with that when you added that in, the brightening scrub? Felt good? Worked good? No irritation or anything? Brightening pigment lotion, did that bother your skin at all? Ever sting? Anything? That's your toner
Oh.
step. No,
No
that was
problem.
good. And then you did the natural mega brightening serum and the chronopeptide A. Remember those steps?
Yes.
And we doubled up on that, using them every night, and how everything felt good?
Felt good.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we use that before the peel. So.
right, to kind of prep your skin for the peel, just get you ready. But really, looking at this, would either one of you add anything else or do anything differently?
I mean, at this point, not really. If anything, maybe here for the first day or so, since she did get a little irritated, and maybe using the citrus gel cleanser, and only using the skin brightening at night or, once a day. And, but I mean, honestly though, even the correctives that we have her on, they're really good correctives for her skin. The chronopeptide A is that perfect formulation of vitamin A to get in there and make that change in the skin without creating a lot of irritation. And then the natural mega brightening serum is, again, we want to get her on that.
Because that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe the skin brightening, or excuse me, the skin brightening scrub, hold off for a week before we start using that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What do you
maybe
see?
during the day, in the place of the skin brightening scrub, you could use the rest of your growth factor serum if you have it.
In place of
The scrub, just for AM application.
Yeah, or you could still use that growth factor serum anyway, because it's going to help new cells and be good. I mean, I think I would have her probably continue to do that. with the growth factor, either AM or PM. So it would be like she would do growth factor and then blush wine, or she would do it here. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that's good. Would you add in anything? We're going to see her in about 3 weeks. Would you add the enzyme to her regimen for home care? Do you feel like that's too much? Do you think she could do that, and would that prepare her, or just do this natural chrono every night and see how that goes?
I mean, you know, the enzyme could be really nice for her. Again, maybe not this first week, but after that, I think that that could work out and actually be a nice way to help suppress melanin, but also, you know, lighten what's already there.
And I was thinking of it too, just from a congestion standpoint, and with your skin to not get too far away over this next 3 weeks, is if we add this enzyme, what we can do is mix it with the brightening scrub, and you would just do it once a week. And so it's an enzyme that you would do, and so you're not going to do your first one until next week. And you just take the brightening scrub and skin brightening enzyme and put that on, and then maybe let the heat of the warmth of the shower kind of, you know, give you a little steam and yeah, things like that, and then remove it.
I
love
when
that
we do
idea.
the cleanse
You would,
in the shower, and then we put it on.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and
I'll
we'll write
for
it
you.
down a little more specific, but I think that's something to add in, and you can add that ½ ounce, and that gives you about 6 applications or so anyway. So we're telling her we want her to use it at least 2 times coming back, but then she'd still have it for 4 at least more treatments. So it's a really good deal, and it's in a small enough size that it really works well. I don't see really adding anything else other than, you know, if she didn't have any cucumber spritz left, I would continue to add that just to keep your hydration without going too much. I think that cucumber spritz can be helpful during this process, but
And too, it's going to get real hot and real dry now as we're going into July.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's important.
I use that a lot because, you know, at work and in the nail shop, sometimes really dusty, and
Then
then
that's
feel like
good.
it's dry, so I spray it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, and that's where she's got to, that's why I think that enzyme will be good for her during this time, because of what you do. Sometimes that adds more of that potential congestion in your skin and things like that, because you're getting stuff in there, powders from the nail things and all that stuff in your skin. So really, you know, keep washing it really well, cleansing it at night. On these products here, I know you're doing really well. Do you have any products here that you need more of that you're out of? I don't
your
think any of
cleansers
these, you should be fine because you just used it, right? Because then she went into citrus.
This one, and then I still have the citrus also.
Yeah, so maybe just a couple days until you're totally not sensitive. This part doesn't matter as much if you use citrus gel cleanser or skin brightening. You could use either one and it'd be fine, but then eventually you'll get to just using more skin brightening. It's going to give you a little more power in what we're doing. Blush wine, you should probably be, I think this regimen was just a week.
I think I
So
still
really, you
have
should have
all
most of
these.
that.
I just need more of
The cucumber spritz.
The growth
yes.
factor?
No,
Oh.
I still have the growth factor. I need the spread and the sunscreen.
Oh, the sunscreen, okay. And so, and did we do daytime? Okay. So, that's what's written here, so we should have, right?
Well, you never know. We scratch stuff out sometimes, so.
So basically same regimen. The only other thing I would do is on the natural and chrono, you're not gonna do anything to your skin tonight. You can just, if you do anything, skin brightening cleanser and blush wine or growth factor really. Actually, cleanser, growth factor, and sea gems is all she needs to do tonight. Tomorrow you'll kind of start this regimen. Tomorrow night, I don't know if she should go into both of these or wait
maybe
one more.
Yeah, maybe wait one more, maybe ease her in with just the chrono, and then.
And then the next night do both. And maybe just every other with this all the way. She might get too flaky.
dry or-
So the natural mega brightening serum, we could just do every other night, and then do chronopeptide A every night. And then that would be a good regimen for her. And then you could touch base with her, or we could see certainly next time. Are you getting too dry? Is that, you know, what's your skin feeling like? Are you having sensitivities? These two things, sometimes what are called our correctives, can cause your skin to be a little sensitive or sometimes even get a little peely. It shouldn't with what we're seeing with your skin and what we're suggesting to do, but it could. And so that's where you want to communicate with us or watch it. If you are sensitive, pull off for a night, okay, and then just go back into it the next night. But everything should be good.
Like pull off, it means I go back to the growth factor, NEC Gem, or just.
Yeah, or you could just, if it's a pull off night, you could just cleanser and your moisturizer, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's just pulling off your, see, and we've got this word here, which is the corrective. So those are the ones that are your most active. Everything else is supporting your skin as you go, but these are what could maybe cause some peeling or cause some other things. So if you pull off, you'd pull off of these two, but you still could do those. Makes sense? Okay, I don't think there's anything else. So then we looked at 3 weeks doing another peel. You ready for it? You got to be ready, pumped up. I know it's summertime, so hopefully. You've already committed. You're done. But July 8th, we're looking around 11:30 that time. And do you need to confirm that with us, or are we good? Can we put that out there, and are we okay?
I think we're good.
Do you want to confirm with us later on today? Would
Yeah.
that work?
Or
Or tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or I'll text Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Text her and just tell her if it's a confirm. We can change the time a little bit if we need to. A little earlier helps us with different things going on that day too.
I think it will be okay, but I just want to make sure with the shop, and then
Yeah.
I'll confirm it with you. I just want to be sure. I don't want to be like telling you, oh, it's okay, and then later on, I have to change.
Yeah, we'd rather not. So those of you watching live, we'll get you, as you know, we'll give you communications on exact next treatment and all the information and the link and everything. So we'll get that out to you. But around July 8th, we will see her back and hopefully be doing a mid-depth peel for lightening. So thank you, you guys. This was great, and your skin's looking wonderful. And we appreciate all that are watching and online, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.